Good afternoon, Senators. I am here to present AB 957, a bill that would clarify that when it comes to Family Code Section 3011, specifically when it comes to disputes over custody, that the definition of the health, safety, and welfare of the child include a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity. Senators, currently, when parents do not agree on affirming a TGI, which I'll use that acronym regularly, it means transgender, gender diverse, and intersex. When a parent do not agree on affirming a TGI child's gender identity, the Family Code fails to provide guidance on how judges should consider the best interests of a TGI child. AB 957 was originally introduced to amend both Family Code 3011 and the Code of Civil Procedure, but after working with the committee, it was narrowed in scope to only amend Family Code 3011. The amendments taken do not substantially differ from its previous version. Our bill was always amending Section 3011 of the Family Code. However, instead of stating that a judge must consider a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity because it's in the best interest of the child to affirm their gender identity, the amendments provide better clarity that as a judge is considering factors in a custody dispute, the health, safety, and welfare of the child also include the affirmation of a child's identity. This amendment allows judicial discretion when conducting an analysis of the best interests of the child. Given that affirmation can occur in many different ways, the language prevents the creation of a checklist that must be met in order to demonstrate affirmation. I also want to take the opportunity to address some things that have been stated about this bill. I've heard from some folks that our bill does not define what affirmation means. However, a plain language reading of the word affirmation is that to affirm a child's gender identity is to accept and support it. Family Code 3011 also does not strictly define the term health, safety, and welfare, but courts are able to interpret the plain language meaning of these words to account for a myriad of circumstances depending on the case before them. In addition, some have expressed concerns that this bill equates the lack of affirmation on gender identity to abuse. First, our bill is not referencing the criminal code and would not be used as any sort of means of deeming or charging a parent as abusive. Second, it should be stated that this code section is not solely related to abusive behavior, as in the same code section, the judge must also consider the nature and amount of contact with both parents, which has nothing to do with abuse. Some have concerns about forcing medical procedures upon children. We also want to clarify that our bill is not referencing gender-affirming care or gender-affirming health care, which is a separate process between one's doctor and a child's parents and not something we are asking a judge to consider custody upon. Others have expressed concern that folks who are tolerant of their child's gender identity will be incorrectly labeled as not affirming their child's identity. Affirmation is not binary, just like health, safety, and welfare is not binary. Family courts and judges are looking at the whole picture. If both parents are accepting of their child's gender identity, this issue will not be the thing that tips scale towards any parent. Affirmation of gender identity looks different for each individual, but the primary modality of gender affirmation is family acceptance and social support. It is also a recognition that all people, no matter their age, are dynamic and constantly growing and changing. What affirmation looks like at one stage of growth may look very different from another stage. The intent behind our amendment is specifically to allow nuance for the judge to account for similar situations, and the larger issue surrounds parents who are antagonistic to their child's gender identity. Being antagonistic to a child's gender identity dramatically affects a child's mental well-being. Conversely, in TGI children that experience familial acceptance, suicide attempts are reduced by half. TGI youth are already at a higher risk of depression, mental health crisis, self-harm, and suicide than their cis peers. 82% of transgender folks experience suicide ideation, and 40% make a suicide attempt in their lifetime. Furthermore, many TGI children are not safe in their own homes because of a non-informing or abusive caretaker. This leads many TGI youth to run away from home, leaving them vulnerable to housing, instability, exploitation, and abuse. Research demonstrates that family acceptance of LGBTQ+ youth is a crucial protective factor. A crucial crucial protective factor in combating depression and substance abuse. Well-rounded social support from friends and family members is strongly associated with the positive mental development, physical health, and overall well-being. AB 957 would center the health and welfare of TGI youth by acknowledging that affirmation of their gender identity is in their best interests. I would like to now introduce my witnesses, Jonathan Clay with Trans Youth Liberation and Melissa Thomas with the Women's Foundation of California.
I'll remind each speaker 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And whenever you're comfortable, proceed.
Chairperson and senators, my name is Melissa Thomas. My pronouns are they, them. I'm an attorney and a Solis Policy Institute State Fellow. The Women's Foundation of California is a proud co-sponsor of AB 957, the Trans, Gender Diverse, and Intersex, or TGI, Youth Empowerment Act. Nearly 1 in 5 trans and non-binary youth attempted suicide last year. But LGBTQ+ youth who felt a high rate of social support from their families attempted suicide at less than half the rate of those who felt less social support. We could cut suicide attempts by TGI children in half simply by empowering parents to support their children, which can include using their correct pronouns, calling them by their names, letting them wear gender-affirming clothing, or even seeking gender-affirming care. Family courts center the best interests of the child in all decisions about visitation and custody. As articulated in this committee's analysis, these decisions are extremely fact-specific. Family Code 3011 lists several factors to consider, including the health, safety, and welfare of the child. Current law, however, does not address the unique needs of TGI kids, particularly in the really difficult situations where only one parent affirms their child's gender identity. AB 957 would clarify what has already been confirmed by the American Academy of Pediatrics and World Professional Association for Transgender Health, that affirming a child's gender identity is integral to their health, safety, and welfare. This would mean that parents who accept their children for who they are would be recognized by the courts for what they are already doing, looking out for their children's best interest. Last year, fewer than 1 in 3 trans and non-binary kids found their home to be gender affirming. This year, we can change that by empowering parents to affirm their TGI children. I respectfully urge your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Thomas, go ahead.
Good afternoon, committee members. Jonathan Clay here on behalf of Trans Family Services and Trans Youth Liberation. I'm a board member for Trans Youth Liberation. We're a San Diego-based group that have served over 3,500 trans family and their youth and their families. We serve families on a journey of having a transgender child, families who often find themselves in a family court not only navigating custody and visitation, but also a gender journey. This bill will codify that affirming a child's gender is in their best interest. This will simply add gender affirmation to the current list of factors to consider for custody and visitations. I just want to emphasize that, to consider. This is still left up to judges and their discretion as they weigh a multitude of factors in making these decisions in the family law process. We have served many families that have found themselves in family court with one parent who is following the lead of the child and affirming, and one parent who is not. This situation puts the child and the family in a very vulnerable position. The court needs to have guidance on how to make these decisions and to be able to put the needs of the child first, which should be what everyone tries to do going through a family law process, as well as provide affirming parent the support they need to continue to affirm their gender diverse child. This bill will do just that. AB 957 should not be confused with the rhetoric around gender affirming medical care. Affirming a young child looks like changing names, new clothing, maybe haircuts. Medical care is only for adolescents and happens within the confines of a team of doctors, mental health providers, the youth, and their families. Having to be in the family court is challenging enough for any child, but for our gender diverse children can be devastating. I speak here today on behalf of these youth and their families, and I urge your support of this bill. And I'll just note, as the analysis so articulately defined and as the author has pointed out, The challenges for transgender youth and suicide ideation and suicide is very real. Having worked with a lot of these families, we hear all these stories. And so anything that we can do to affirm those children and help them through this process and reduce those threats to their lives, I think is worthy of consideration by this legislature. Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time, anybody who is in support of the bill can come up to the desk there. This is called Me Too testimony. So your name and organization, if you belong to one, and your position on the bill. So this is supporters. So.
Good afternoon. Craig Pulsfer on behalf of Equality California, proud co-sponsor and strong support.
Thank you. No? All right. Well, now we're going to go to primary. Oh, we do have a few outside. Okay, great.
Alicia Benavides-Lewis, here in strong support my personal capacity on behalf of my trans sister.
Thank you.
Arissa Giansiri from Los Angeles, here in strong support of AB 957.
Thank you.
Jasmine Amons on behalf of the National Center for Youth Law in strong support.
Thank you.
Kim McElnay, Folsom, California. I'm in support.
Thank you.
Quinn Buse from Folsom, California. I'm in support because trans kids deserve a future, trans kids' lives matter, and we must stop trans genocide. Thank you.
Joshua Buse, Folsom, California, and I'm in support.
Thank you.
Tyler Rindy on behalf of the California Alliance of Child and Family Services in support.
Thanks.
Anna Marie Smith, Sacramento. I support.
Thank you.
Molly Robeson with Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California in support. Thank you.
Noah Bartelt with ACLU California Action in strong support. Thank you.
My name is Serena Naran. I'm a college student. I'm very, very strong support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Stephanie Estrada on behalf of California Latinas for Reproductive Justice and strong support.
I'm Carrie West with the Sacramento Stonewall Democrats, strong support.
Thank you.
Hi, Evan Minton, openly transgender advocate, know how important this life-saving bill is, and strong support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Beth Mora, Mora Employment Law, Plaintiff Employment Attorney, strong support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Forrest Cameron. I'm a student intern at the Western Center on Law and Poverty. Strong support. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Christopher Sanchez, policy advocate at the Western Center on Law and Poverty. Ditto with my intern. We strongly support this.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mariko Yoshihara on behalf of Equal Rights Advocates in support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Samantha Shady. I'm with Citizens for Choice in Nevada County, and I'm in full support. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Theodore Brito. I'm a student at UC Davis, and I'm in strong support.
Good afternoon, my name is Sophia Pedrosa. I'm a gender fluid attorney here in California in strong support.
Thank you. Sergeants, is that all okay? Great. Now we'll move to opposition on the bill. Do we have any primary witnesses? Again, 2 minutes. So 2 speakers, 2 minutes.
I am Erin Friday, lead of Our Duty, an attorney and a mother of a girl who used to believe that she was a boy. AB 957 is the first bill in the nation to codify into law that a parent who does not affirm the gender identity of the child is abusive. There is no nuance in this bill. It matters not the age of the child, the absurdity of the identity, adopted, comorbid mental health issues, or persistence. Family court judges will be compelled to favor the child who will affirm the child's delusion. Parents can easily game the system and use gender as retaliation against each other. What happens when one parent will socially affirm the child but will not agree to medicalize? Does the parent willing to do more transitioning prevail? AB 957 unambiguously states that the health, safety, and welfare of the child includes a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity. If it passes, it will be child abuse if one does not affirm a child's gender identity, and not just in custody cases. The triad of words, health, safety, and welfare will be used by CPS, judges, and police to take children away from parents like me who knew better than to concretize their child's gender identity. The Penal Code defines neglect as harm to a child's health and welfare. It also defines harming a child as causing the child's health to be endangered. Child abuse or neglect is defined in the Penal Code as endangering the health of a child. In a case last year entitled Saul H., a minor was not returned to his parents because returning him to his family was not in the best interest of his health, safety, and welfare. So there we have it, folks. Any parent who does not affirm the gender identity of their child is an abusive parent. Upwards to 88% of all gender-confused kids will return to their being comfortable in their sex bodies if they are not affirmed. Do you really want to penalize parents for their belief in science?
Okay, thank you. Next.
My name is Abigail Martinez. It has been 3 years and 164 days since I lost my daughter, Jaylee. I miss her every single day. Let me tell you how she died. My daughter was murdered by a gender ideology. CPS took my daughter when she was 16 years old. It was held by her public school counselor and LGBTQ group rights and another trans-identified girl. My daughter was taken from her loving home because the state of California claimed I was abusive for not affirming her trans identity. I lost my daughter over a name and a pronouns. Even after I promised to call her a male name, it wasn't enough. My daughter was not a boy trapped in a girl's body. She had mental health issues. Against my consent, my daughter was given testosterone instead of therapy. The LGBTQ group used her to raise money for them. Look at the poor reject trans boy, they said. Why are there so many transgender in foster care? Because this state take them from their families, tell them to run, then steal them. Parents are given one option to treat their distressed child, affirm, drug, and remove their healthy body part, or else lose your child. The abuse claim against me was finally dropped, but it was too late. The damage was done. By then, my daughter was in a horrible mental and physical pain. My daughter knelt down in front of a train. She was murdered by gender ideology. I beg you, stop pushing gender ideology. I don't want any parent to feel what I feel every day. Affirmation is not good for the health, safety, and welfare of any child.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure that was incredibly difficult. Now we will move on to witnesses in opposition that are in the room. We'll do the same drill as the proponents, meaning name, and if you have an organization, list that and that you support. I meant oppose, I'm sorry.
My name is Marilyn Hammond. I'm a grandmother, a mother, and a Christian, and I adamantly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Harrison Tinsley, a father of a 3-year-old child who stands to get devastated by this bill. Please vote no.
Thank you.
Jennifer Johnson, Placer County resident. I strongly oppose AB 957.
Thank you.
Veronica, and I urge you to vote no. I oppose. I'm a mom.
Wendy Schaffner, Democrat. I have a gender-confused daughter. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Jennifer Kennedy from Los Angeles. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Joni Shoemaker, on behalf of the San Joaquin County Republican Assembly, I strongly urge you to vote no on this bill.
Thank you.
Tara Thornton, co-founder of Freedom Angels, a human and civil rights organization, and we're opposed to the weaponization of gender identity in the family courts.
Okay, thank you.
Denise Aguilar, co-founder of Freedom Angels, opposed to this bill. Stop the genocide of our children.
Thank you.
Haley Page with Mom Army, Freedom Angels, and on behalf of other people, I live in Placer County, so I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Seek Smith, I'm the founder of Mom Army, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Adam Vina, and I oppose this bill. My son has been groomed since the age of 2 years old, and I've lost my son because of the grooming, and I haven't held or seen my son in 2.5 years. I oppose this bill.
Okay, thank you.
Scott.
Sabrina Williams. I am the Sacramento Battalion leader for Mom Army, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Liz Nemechek, Mom Army, Orange County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Beth Ferks, California Family Council. I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name's Christine Marin. I'm from Alhambra, Boyle Heights, Mom Army, LA. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Barbara Walker from Alameda, California, mother of 3. I strongly oppose this bill. Why would we ask parents to call their children the opposite sex?
Just Me Too time. Thank you.
My name is Patricia Cavada from Orange County, and I oppose this bill that would devastate families, especially from indigenous and Raza, Chicano, Chicana communities.
I'm AK Mrs. G, and I'm here from Orange County, California, and I oppose this bill, and I'm here for my 3 children and every child in America.
Okay, thank you.
Allie Snyder, registered voter, parent, member of Standing for Women. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Brandon Wagner, U.S. History teacher, father of 2. I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Andrea Domitic, Davis, California, mother of 4, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Kathleen Seiler, Camilla County, a mother of 3, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Mike Carlson, I'm a Californian, a left-leaning populist, and I strongly oppose these bills, which are an evolution of eugenics.
Catherine Carlson, San Mateo, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Lori Boatler, Sacramento, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, and I deeply oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Joseph Boatler, Sacramento. I also am a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather, and I deeply oppose this bill.
Thank you.
It's wrong.
Thank you.
Yvette Corcoran, registered nurse, mother of 2 teenagers, and San Francisco resident. Senator Wiener, I adamantly oppose this bill.
Again, I want to remind everybody this is simply Me Too testimony. Your name, if you have an organization, share it, and your position on the bill. No editorializing.
Joshua Coleman from Roseville, California, and I vehemently oppose this bill that targets vulnerable children.
Thank you.
Shannon Heil of Sacramento, Moms for Liberty, and we oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Heather Heil, Sacramento County resident, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Daphne Hewitt, representing Catholic Families for Freedom, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Tanya Vera, I live in California, and my daughter was picked up by the LGBTQ, and I oppose to all of them.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sandra Marquez. I'm a people of this great United States Republic. I'm a student of the U.S. Constitution and the California Constitution, and I vehemently oppose this.
Thank
It is
you.
unconstitutional. Thank you.
Hello, Heather Delphs, mother of 3, grandmother of 1, and represent Elk Grove Mama Papa Bears, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Wendy Minas from Los Angeles, California. On behalf of my children, my many friends and family back in Los Angeles, I oppose the bill. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Evelyn Gonzalez. I'm here for my grandchildren and my children, and I deeply oppose this bill.
Thank you.
I'm Deborah Patterson from Pacifica, a grandmother, mother, and deeply oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Jessica Romero from Colusa County. I'm a mother of 3, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Virginia Yarrick, El Dorado Hills Republican women, mother of 5, grandmother of 4, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Jessica Mackey, I'm an East County resident, a mom and an ICU nurse, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Jessica Reed, El Dorado County. I'm an independently registered voter, a nurse, and a mother, and I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Shea. I am from Lake County, and I adamantly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you from hearing from the people. My name's Ray Holm. I represent Tuolumne County, and I'm a grandfather and a father, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you, sir.
Svetlana Andrus, on behalf of Ukrainian community, I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Clark Andrus, Sacramento County, father of 4, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you, sir. Now we're coming in this way. Okay. Yeah, just a little bit.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Carolina López y yo me opongo a esta legislación. Soy de Elk Grove, Miss Ashby. Gracias.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elena Callahan. I'm a teacher and a parent in Elk Grove. I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Hola, buenas tardes. Me llamo Imelda Hernández y yo me pongo esta legislación AB 957 y soy de Elk Grove.
Thank you.
Lisa Renee Vanny, parent from Elk Grove, California, opposes this bill.
Thank you.
Jonathan Vanny, parent Elk Grove, I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
April Bean, parent from Sacramento County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Jeanette Phelps, parent and grandparent from Sacramento County, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Allison Novello, representing Reality Encompassed Values, and I oppose this bill.
My name is Brandon Carasalis, father from Alameda, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Hi, my name is Kim Emerson, and I strongly oppose this bill, and I'm from Granite Bay, California.
My name is Arthur Gorman. I am a Shasta County Board of Education, a representative of Area 2. I represent 17,000 people that voted for me, and we oppose this bill.
My name is Amy Anderson. I'm a mother of 5 in Orangevale, California, and I vehemently oppose this dogmatic and dangerous bill, and safeguarding is not a dirty word or term.
Hello, my name is Catherine McBride, Placer County, mother of 3 and future grandmother, and I very wholeheartedly oppose this dangerous and sickening bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Kasia Williams, on behalf of California Parents Union, representing thousands of members, parents, teachers, grandparents, in opposition to AB 957. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Audra Starrett. I'm representing my family, and I'm a concerned parent concerned about mental health of our children, and I am against this bill.
Hello, I'm Margaret Rader. I'm the parent of 3 children. Some of them are adults. I'm representing truth and facts, and I am opposed to 957.
Hello, I am a resident of Placer County, business owner of Sacramento, and Roger Nilo is my senator. I hope he opposes AB 957.
My name is Rochelle Connor. I'm an abolitionist for Frederick Douglass Foundation of California. I represent marginalized, unrepresented families of color, and we oppose 957 and respectfully ask for a no vote.
I'm Stephen Barassa. I live in Sacramento. I oppose gender-affirming care being a prerequisite for custody. It should not be subjected to children.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Julius Giles, independent journalist. I oppose AB 957.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lisa Disbro. I represent informed parents of Contra Costa and La Marindans for Education, and I hope that Senator Blecher opposes this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Max Bonilla. I'm a Sacramento resident. I'm with Rebuild California. That's rebuildcalifornia.com to voice my opposition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lee Fryer, Placer County resident, father. I oppose this bill. I urge all of you to oppose it too. Thank you.
Hello, our representatives, thank you. My name is Linda Bagnell. I'm from Placer County, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Charlie Simons. I live in Placer County. And I would like to, in the name of Christ Jesus, pray against this evil.
Thank you very much, sir.
Pray against.
I assume you're opposed. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Josie Reed from Bakersfield, California, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sue Williams. I too am from Bakersfield, California, mom of 5, grandma of 14, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Sarah Martinez. I'm a mom from Contra Costa County, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Kara Butler, also from Contra Costa County. I adamantly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ruth. I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I oppose this bill.
Is that it?
Hello, my name is David Bullock from the organization Affirming Transgender Children is Right for Some Families, but Not All, in opposition.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tina. I'm from Sacramento. I'm opposed to this bill. It's a complete disrespect of parental rights.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Next, please.
Hi, my name is Angelique Payne, and I'm from El Dorado County, and I strongly oppose this bill. It's only our job to parent our children.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nicole Jensen, mother of 3 young boys, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Ariane Adam Chikova. I am a public school teacher, an activist,
and a resident of San Francisco, where I am a registered Democrat and a
All right. Thank you
lifelong
very
progressive.
much.
My son is
you
a
oppose. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Next, please.
My name is Kim Green. I am here to oppose 957. I'm a registered Democrat and political progressive from San Francisco.
Thank you.
And a public
Thank-
school parent.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. Next, please.
My name is Beverly Talbot. I'm a registered Democrat, a Democratic Party volunteer, and a longtime resident of San Francisco. I strongly oppose AB 957, which is coerces
Thank you very
parents
much.
into.
Thank you, ma'am. So let me just go over the ground rules. So for Me Too testimony, and that's what we're in right now, is Me Too testimony. If you give us your name, your affiliation, and your position on the bill, I assume that those who are now testifying are all opposed. If we go beyond that, then unfortunately I'm going to have to ask for the next person to appear at the microphone. All right, next please.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Cronin, registered Democrat, lifelong progressive. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
From San Francisco.
My name is Cheyenne Kenny. I'm a Central Committee member for the Alameda County Republican Party, and I strongly oppose AB 957.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
We can.
I am so happy to be here. My name is Veronica, and I'm sorry, but I cannot support this bill. I'm sorry. I'm from Marysville. I oppose AB 957. Have a great day.
Hi, my name's Elizabeth Kenny. I'm from Oakland, California. I represent poor moms against overreaching hands. And the band Hammerlock and the good people of Oakland.
All right.
I oppose.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Marcius. I oppose AB 957 with all the great Californians here.
All right. Thank you very much.
How's it going, guys? My name's Jose. I'm from Santa Clara County, and I oppose Bill 957.
All righty.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Barbara Hyde from Fremont, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
I'm Amanda Covatana. I'm a lesbian. I live in San Mateo County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name's Kelly Alterman. I'm from Alameda, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
My name is Lori Arthur. I'm from Alameda County, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Alrighty.
My name is Carla Monroy. I'm from Hayward, and as a Hispanic mother, I'm here representing Hispanic parents, and I oppose AB 957.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Taria Ali. I live in Alameda County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Courtney DiAugustine, Sacramento County. Opposed strongly.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Pam Smith, and I oppose this bill, and I'm a registered voter.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Debbie Munter. I am a nurse anesthetist. I'm a mother, and I really oppose this destructive bill.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sarah Long. I'm a family nurse practitioner out of Oakland, California. I strongly oppose this destructive bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rochelle. I live in Sacramento County, and I'm a mother of 3 children, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Dear Senate Judiciary Committee, my name is Stephanie. I was an independent, but now I'm a Republican because I need to be able to stand up
Alrighty.
for our
Thank you.
rights.
I appreciate your
strongly
testimony. All right, thank you.
Afternoon, Brina Sheehy here on behalf of our client, Perk Advocacy, in opposition to AB 957.
Thank you.
Lance Christensen, Vice President of the California Policy Center, in strong opposition to AB 957. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deborah King, and I'm in the county of Sacramento County, and I'm a mother of 2 children, and I oppose 957.
Thank you.
My name is Bo King. I live in Sacramento County, and I strongly oppose AB 957.
Thank you.
Christine Campbell, concerned parent, and I'm in strong opposition.
Thank you.
Brandon Campbell, Faith Baptist Church, Wheaton, California, Northern California, Director of the Capital Connection for Independent Baptist Churches, in opposition.
Thank you.
Tim Benefield, pastor of Golden Valley Baptist Church in Patterson, and also a father of 3, and strong opposition of 957.
Thank you.
Richard Miller, pastor of Victory Baptist Church in Atwater, California, also father of 5. I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Pastor Donnie Wilson from Lighthouse Baptist Church in Moreno Valley, California, Southern California, in strong opposition.
Thank you.
A.J. Harold, pastor of Solid Rock Baptist Tabernacle in Los Angeles County, also professor at Pacific Baptist College in Los Angeles County, father of 12, strongly oppose.
Thank you.
Kaylee Gregory, concerned mom to me, in strong opposition.
Thank you.
Grace Gregory, concerned woman, in strong opposition.
Thank you.
Jim Edmonds, father of 2, strongly oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Gabrielle Ingram, founder of Stand Up Sacramento County in Angelique Ashby's district, strongly opposed. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Amy. I am in Senator Ashby's district, and I oppose this bill and ask for your no vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary Lindsay, father of 2, oppose.
Thank you.
Angelina Ramirez, mother of 5, and I oppose.
Thank you.
Jessica Wagner, mother of 2, teacher of thousands, I oppose.
Thank you.
Jesus Ventura, on behalf of the soldiers of St. Michael of Elk Grove, we strongly oppose.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Francisco Garibay, longtime Stocktonian. I oppose to AB 957 and AB 665.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Give us your name
Francisco,
and your position on the bill.
I'm in opposition.
All right. Thank you.
Good job.
My name is Mary Jane, and I'm in opposition.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Melissa. I am a mother of 4, and I'm also in opposition.
Thank you.
My name is Ana Moreno from Contra Costa County, and I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rebecca Smith, and I wanted to state my opposition to AB 957.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to now turn to the phone lines. Moderator, if you would queue up those who are in both support and opposition to AB 957. Just for those of you who are on the phone line, we're going to take 15 minutes of testimony, and then we're going to cut it off. That means that there are a number of people who are currently waiting on the phone line that won't be able to provide their testimony. However, feel free to send us written communications. You can look at our website, and that will give you instructions as to how to submit written communications. All right, Moderator, if you turn to the phone line, go ahead and open the lines.
Of course. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to make a comment in support or opposition, please press 1 then 0. You will hear a tone indicating placed into the queue. You may remove yourself from the queue by pressing 1 then 0 again. We will be going to line 117. Please go ahead.
Opposition?
Go ahead, state your name, your affiliation, and your position.
In opposition?
Your name, your affiliation.
Oh. Gary Gruber, Sacramento.
Opposed?
Opposed.
All right. Next caller.
Next, we'll go to line 207. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Santos. I'm from Stanislaus County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 133. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Wendy Beal. I'm with Moms for Liberty, Placer County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, go to line 213. Please go ahead. Next, we'll go to line 198. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Asael Lemon Sr. I represent all the fathers in Southern California, and I strongly oppose.
Next, we'll go to line 187. Please go ahead.
Nuria Vanegas from Van Nuys. I oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 167. Please go ahead.
My name is Jordan Rennick. I'm from Bakersfield, California, and I'm strongly in opposition of this bill. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to line 226. Please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi. Sorry, there's an echo. My name is Shrina Lach. I'm a mother of 3, and I represent indigenous tribes and mental health advocate. And I'm in strong opposition of AB 957. Keep your hands off our kids.
Thank you very much.
Next, we're going to line 149. Please go ahead.
I am Blake Anderson, a homeowner within an HOA and a registered voter in the Hillcrest neighborhood of San Diego City. I'm a normal gay person and not an LGBT gay, and I oppose the bill.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to line 193. Please go ahead.
My name's Arceli Mendez, out here from Fresno County, calling, and I oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 222. Please go ahead.
Hello, Fernando Orozco, Los Angeles County, single father and emergency room registered nurse. Oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 162. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Dawn Caruso. I'm a Santa Clara resident and a mother, and I strongly oppose AB 957.
Next, we're going to line 234. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Erin Evans on behalf of NARAL Pro-Choice California in strong support. Thank you.
Next, we're going to line 218. Please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Juliet Rodriguez. I'm from Stanislaus County, and I oppose this bill.
Next, we're going to line 63. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hi, my name is Doris. I'm a mother of 2 and a nurse, and I am opposed to AB 957.
Next, we're going to line 60. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, this is Sarah Kim on behalf of TV Next and Asian community. I strongly oppose this destructive bill. Thank you.
Next, we're going to line 165. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jack Saharatunian, a lifelong resident of Glendale, California, and on behalf of the Armenian American community, I adamantly oppose AB 957. Thank you very much.
Next, we're going to line 182. Please go ahead.
Suzette Rijo, Los Angeles. I strongly oppose AB 957.
Next, we're going to line 125. Please go ahead.
This is Mariah Bond, MD, a licensed and practicing medical doctor in the state of California and mother in San Diego. I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 191. Please go ahead.
My name is Lori Lopez from Riverside County, California, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 124. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Eric Croy from Riverside, California, father of two. I'm an atheist, and I typically lean liberal, but I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 224. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Maria Salih. I'm a Nana mom from California, and I oppose this bill.
Next, we're going to line 199. Please go ahead.
Ashley Elizabeth, and I vehemently oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 114. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Karen Reese, Christian homeschool mom from Contra Costa County. I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we're going to line 232. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Christy Brown from San Diego County, mother of three, and I strongly oppose.
Next, we'll be going to line 105. Please go ahead.
Michelle Ortiz, Whittier, California, mom of four, strongly oppose this bill on behalf of my family.
Next, we'll be going to line 141. Please go ahead.
Hi, Teresa Barnes of Los Angeles, California, mom of three, strongly opposed.
Next, we're going to line 118. Please go ahead.
Julie Harris, San Francisco, California, mom of two, strongly opposed.
Next, we're going to line 153. Please go ahead.
My name is Linda Radcliffe, resident of San Diego County, and I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Next, we're going to line 135. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Chris. I'm a parent and an educator and a registered Democrat in LA County, and I oppose this bill.
Next, we're going to line 196. Please go ahead.
My name is Jamie Reyes, mother of two, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we're going to line 215. Please go ahead.
My name is Bridget Ayers from Chino, California. I'm a Christian mother of six, and I strongly oppose AB 957.
Next, we're going to line 93. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Laurel Gregory. I'm from Orange County, mother of three, former teacher. I strongly oppose this dangerous bill.
Next, we're going to line 169. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Susan Barca of Orange County. I'm a mother of four and a public school teacher of 26 years, and I oppose AB 957. Thank you.
Next, we're going to line 85. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Shannon Kurtz, mother representing California Parents' Rights Act Now. We strongly oppose.
Next, we're going to line 84. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Timothy Kim. I'm from Santa Clara County. I'm a pastor. I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we're going to line 75. Please go ahead.
My name is Gina Robertson from West Covina, and I strongly oppose AB 957.
Next, we'll go to line 160. Please go ahead.
My name is Raquel Hoguin. I represent Catholic Families for Freedom, San Bernardino, and Riverside County, and we strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 156. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Nicole Malfi. I oppose AB 957. I'm from LA County. Thank you.
Next, we go into line 205. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Teresa Rodriguez from Riverside County. My mother and grandmother, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go into line 180. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Ivana Duarte, mother of three. I'm from LA County, and I oppose AB 957.
I do apologize. I accidentally connected my line. We will go to line 197. Please go ahead.
My name is Denise Rodriguez. I am a mom and a California resident, and I strongly oppose Bill AB 957.
Next, we'll go to line 210. Please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Saha, mother of two, and I oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 214. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Nushin Beaches from Temecula Valley. I'm strongly opposed AB 957.
Next, go to line 248. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Eric Harris, Disability Rights California, strong support of AB 957.
Next, go to line 247. Please go ahead.
Penny Harrington, mother and grandmother from San Diego County, strongly opposed.
Next, we'll go to line 206. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Joanne Piota, mother, grandmother, registered nurse from San Diego. I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to line 188. Please go ahead.
Debbie Perez, Fair Oaks, California. I'm a mother, grandmother, and health professional who currently helps detransitioning individuals. I strongly oppose AB 957.
Next, we'll go to line 175. Please go ahead.
My name is Jasmine Holscher. I'm a mother from Los Angeles County, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we're going to line 74. Please go ahead.
Allison Guyman from Orange County. I'm a parent, and I oppose.
Next, we're going to line 54. Please go ahead.
Yes, my name is Connie Jordan. I represent the Coalition of Mothers and Grandmothers of Orange County, and we are opposed.
Next, we'll go to line 245. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Kenneth from Riverside County, School Board Advisor for Lexit, also co-founder of Fathers of Fortitude, and a Governing Board Trustee. I strongly oppose AB 957.
Next, we'll go to line 163. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Annette Pantoja. I'm calling from Riverside, California. I'm a mom of three, and I strongly oppose AB 957.
Next, we'll go to line 172. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Mariam Syed, and I'm a gender nonconforming future mother in San Mateo County, and I strongly oppose AB 957. Thank you.
Next, we'll be going to line 192. Please go ahead.
Jessica Sanchez, and I strongly oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 97. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Anna Gregorian. I'm opposing AB 957.
Next, we go to 213. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Asa Naya, half of the California TGI Policy Alliance, which is a co-sponsor. I strongly support.
All right. We have 1 minute left for those who wish to call in.
Next, we'll go to line 237. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Pelly Shinkuski from Monterey County. I represent over 7,000 members in Alliance to Protect Children, and I strongly oppose this ridiculous bill.
Next, we'll go to line 200. Please go ahead.
Hi, Ariana Young from Highland, California, mother of two. I oppose this bill.
Next, we'll go to line 255. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Rochelle, and I am in San Joaquin County, and I am strongly opposed to that pedophile Scott Wiener holding office.
All right, thank you, moderator. Next caller, please. Next caller, please.
Next, we'll go to line 119. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is April Schnars. I'm a speech pathologist parent voter from Los Angeles County, and I strongly oppose.
All righty, thank you. Moderator, last call.
All right, the last one we'll be taking is line 186. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Esther Clark, Valencia, California, mother and special education teacher. I strongly oppose AB 957. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bring it back to committee. Senator Wiener.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have to say I've been following a lot of the commentary online and in the media about this bill. And unfortunately, there's been a pretty massive misinformation campaign about this bill by the right-wing media and right-wing social media influencers. It is tragically a massive and well-orchestrated campaign to erase trans children, to pretend they don't exist, to suppress them, which honestly is no different than the suppression that we have seen for centuries, the suppression of gay and lesbian kids. And we need to remember that all the arguments that we hear against so many parts of this bill and against acknowledging the existence of trans kids, those have all been made against gay and lesbian kids. That you can change them, that it's not real, that it's a phase, that they're confused, that it's a mental health problem. Let's not pretend for a second that the attacks on and the attempts to erase trans kids, let's not pretend for a second that that is not also an attack on gay and lesbian kids. It absolutely is. I want to thank the author for introducing this bill and for leading on this bill and for persevering on this bill, even despite the just horrific personal attacks that have been launched against her. The author is someone with deep lived experience who knows exactly what she is talking about. I also just want to note that in the right-wing media, there has been at times an erasure of the author's leadership. There are articles that leave her name out entirely and only mention my name, even though I am not leading on this bill. I am not the lead author of this bill. They either minimize her role or erase it entirely. Why would you do that? We should ask ourselves why they would do that. Because it benefits their narrative that this is about perversion and harming kids. It benefits that narrative to say that the bill is somehow introduced by a gay man who doesn't have children. Using photos of me from Folsom Street Fair. I like those photos, but why choose those photos over other photos? It benefits their narrative way more than acknowledging that the author who is leading on this bill is a straight woman with kids, including a trans kid who knows exactly what she's talking about. It's straight up homophobia, and it's disrespectful to the author. This bill is not about gender affirming care, but that has been raised over and over and over again, online and here today. So I want to say a few things. There's this narrative that people are somehow like going to stealing kids and forcing them to have gender affirming care. There's also this narrative that a massive number of people transition and regret it. These narratives are false. In California, gender affirming care other than counseling can only happen if a parent consents to it. The age of consent, if the kid is not emancipated, is 18. So when kids in California receive gender-affirming care, it is overwhelmingly with the consent and the support of their parents. We also know from studies that the vast majority of trans people, including kids who transition, do not regret their transition. There was a review of 27 studies involving almost 8,000 teens and adults who transitioned, and 1% regretted their decision. Of course, for anyone who does regret, we should support them, and they should have access to all of the health care that they need, but that should not deprive the other 99% from receiving health care. We also know that gender affirmation and gender affirming care dramatically benefits the mental health of trans kids. There was an NIH study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, quote, transgender and non-binary youth sustained improvement in depression and anxiety over 2 years after starting treatment with gender-affirming hormones. A study in the Journal of the American Medical Association about youth 13 to 20, those receiving care had a 60% lower odds of depression and 73% lower odds of suicidality compared to youth who hadn't received cares. And we know there are various studies that show that trans youth with supportive parents have significantly lower risk of suicidality. Trans kids with supportive parents have significantly lower risk of attempting suicide. People, I think some have been led to believe that this bill somehow applies to every family, and that we heard it at the beginning, that this complete misrepresentation of the bill, that the cops are going to come into people's homes and grab their kids because you're not affirming enough. This bill is about divorce proceedings and custody. That's what this is about. This bill is about situations where the family court is already involved, where you are already in court because you have kids, you're getting a divorce, and the court has the job of deciding custody, visitation, etc. Where the court is already scrutinizing every aspect of the family's life. Courts consider a huge number of factors when they decide custody and visitation. Many, many factors. All this bill does is clarify that among all of those many, many other factors, that affirmation of the child's gender should be considered. Because we know that gender affirmation has mental health benefits. And we know that having supportive parents makes it less likely that that child will attempt to kill themselves. Are we really going to say that those facts are somehow not relevant to a divorce and custody proceeding? Of course, the court should take those into account, and that's why this bill is important, and I am happy to move the bill.
Thank you, Senator Wiener. Others? Senator Laird.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And because of the tremendous interest in this bill, I actually had a substantial number of the emails my office received polled, and I read them. And I listened to the testimony. I've read and reread the analysis. And I think that, and one thing I should say just clearly is name calling is not persuasive. We're trying to look at this on the merits. And the question is what this bill does. And what this bill does is it's one of many, many factors in deciding visitation and custody. Not the only factor, not the deciding factor. It allows judicial discretion. And will the courts be required to side with a parent that affirms their child's gender identity? No. Will the bill require a parent to provide their child with gender-affirming care to win a custody dispute? No. Will parents who do not affirm their child's gender identity be found liable for child abuse and have their child removed from their home? No. These are clear things here, and it was said that this was a prerequisite for custody. It is not. The one interesting thing is one of the emails said young people need support and counseling above all. I totally agree. And that is generally part of the process in all these proceedings, or in dealing with the whole issue of gender affirming care. And the age of consent was already described. And so I think this has been talked about as being something that this particular bill is not. And the one other thing to say is Senator Wiener talked about just sort of gay and lesbian kids. And there was a very interesting study done by San Francisco State. It was roughly 10 years ago. And I think it addresses these issues, but it was something that was not a surprise. And it was looking at kids, and if they were substantially rejected by their family, it turned out they were at a much higher risk for drugs, for living on the streets, for having to do things to make a living that we would want no child to do. Or they felt if better about themselves, they were much more successful. And the interesting thing is they circled back to the parents that were surveyed. And it actually changed people's minds, because the last thing they really wanted was for their kid to be on the streets or their kid to be more at risk because of them. And I think the same thing is at effect here. And yet, this bill doesn't reach that far into it. It just says it's one of many, many things that be considered. It doesn't require. This is about solely visitation and custody discussions that are in court. This isn't a health care bill. This isn't a law enforcement bill. This doesn't set up fines. And so I think that's the reason that we have to consider this on its merits, and I will be supporting the bill.
Thank you, Senator Laird. Others? All right. Senator Allen.
Well, let me start by saying that Senator Laird is absolutely right about a number of these things. I think that we're talking about custody here, and this is such an incredibly sensitive topic because the relationship between a parent and a child is so sacrosanct. But that really is at the heart of the bill. I think some of the comments that have been made, including during the testimony, really are just not what's in the bill, at least from my understanding. I read the analysis carefully. It's certainly, Senator Laird's comment about how this is supposed to be, at least the way it's framed, it would be one of many factors that would be taken into account, is the way I read the bill. All that being said, I think there's a kernel of truth to some of the concerns that have been raised. And I certainly want to make sure that just because someone, has, maybe, I don't know, if someone might be religious, for example, and there's nothing that they do as a parent that would impact the health and welfare and mental well-being of the child. They accept the child's decisions, but they struggle with it themselves. I would certainly want to make sure that person wasn't dinged under a custody dispute in the context of this bill. And so, I guess my challenge, I've heard various interpretations through the course of the conversation today about the word affirmation, affirmed. And in some respects, it seems to be almost purposely vague. From my perspective, affirmation has always seemed like a proactive thing. And I guess I would, I'm happy to support the bill today, but I would like the author and the chair to spend some time working together on tightening up some of the language so that we can make sure that a parent for whom we have no concern about impacting the mental health of the child, but who may have like a personal, perhaps a religious conflict with gender fluidity, wouldn't be dinged if we don't have a concern about their ability to be a good parent to that child. And that's my concern, I think, looking at this bill. And I know that there's conversations happening between the author and the chair that I hope will be fruitful over the course of the next few weeks, so that we can tighten up the language and get to a place that I think meets the goals of the author, while also addressing, what I hear is the legitimate concerns from some folks on the opposition.
Thank you. Assemblymember Wilson, you care to respond, or would you like to respond in your close?
I can respond to my close, if that's fine. I don't know if there was any other.
Is that satisfactory to you, Senator Allen?
Sir, I know there are other members who want to speak.
All right. And Senator Yelo wishes to speak. So go ahead, Senator Yelo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I thank you for pronouncing my name the way it is in the mother country. Appreciate that. This is a difficult issue, and I have the greatest of respect for my colleagues, Senator Wiener and Senator Laird. Senator Laird and I have known each other for a lot of years. And I don't come to the question with any particular bias one way or the other. But gender affirmation care is a relatively new thing. Gender dysphoria is not, it's just more recognized recently, and gender affirmation care is a way of treating that in a way that Senator Wiener eloquently defended, and I get that. The issue is, though, other countries around the world are beginning to question this. The UK, in fact, did a comprehensive review of gender-affirming care, and they described the social transition as an active intervention with significant effects on child or young persons in terms of their psychological functioning, and emphasized that it is not a neutral act and better information is needed about outcomes. The systemic review found the evidence on managing gender incongruence inconclusive due to lack of long-term data. Similarly, Sweden, Finland, and Norway have since rejected gender affirmative care for children. Now, I don't know which side of it is correct. I'm just saying I'm new to the issue, and I understand what Senator Laird said in clarifying what this bill does, but the elevation of the issue accepts gender affirmation care as an accomplished science and accepts gender affirmation as the appropriate approach by a parent. And my concern is, given the conclusions of the UK and those three Scandinavian countries, not exactly restrictive type societies, I have concerns about making the conclusion that this bill does, bringing it into a custody dispute.
Is that a question, Senator Yelo? Okay. No, it's not. Okay.
The author is certainly welcome to address it in her close.
All right.
I just want to make sure, if it's okay to clarify.
Sure.
Are you noting that gender affirmation care is in the language of the bill, or are you noting that gender affirmation is equivalent to gender affirmation care? So I know how to respond appropriately.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that they're equivalent. What I am saying is that the supposition of the bill is that gender affirmation should be considered in custody issues.
Okay.
And that, I think, brings along the implication that to make the affirmation that the care, gender affirmation care, would be appropriate, and that should be considered in a custody case. And
thank you for that clarification.
I saw you
I'll respond.
shake your head, but
I'll do it in the close then.
Understand. It is very difficult to conclude to the contrary of that.
Understood.
In my mind.
Understood. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for clarifying.
Senator Caballero, then Senator Wilk, then Senator Ashby.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank everybody that showed up here today. This is a difficult conversation, and it's a difficult conversation because it has to do with our children, and it has to do with their welfare. But let me just tell you that, to me, this bill is about listening to our children. It's about accepting them for who they are. It's about loving them unconditionally, even if they're different from us. And we're asking courts to make a difficult decision when there is a family separation, a divorce or a separation. It's hard for judges to figure out. I've sat through, I'm an attorney, and I've sat through many cases and seeing how difficult it is for the court, who has to rely on information that the parents give as to what's going on in the family dynamics, and usually what a social worker has to say after doing an investigation and trying to determine what should happen to children. And so I understand how challenging this is. So let me just say that I'm gonna support the bill today because I understand where you're trying to go with this, and the triggers that make it very difficult. And I do appreciate what Senator Nilo had to say, is that there is a conflation of gender affirmation with gender affirmation medical care. And so I think the most telling statement you made is about family acceptance and social support, because that's really what we're looking at, is do the children have that level of acceptance with the discussions that are going on, because the discussion's very difficult with a 4-year-old than it is with a 16-year-old. And so I think there's some work that's needed on the affirmation, because I think it can be conflated. I don't have the answer today, but I think it's important that we use words that a judge can reasonably understand to mean not that there's medical care that's going to be given. That may be necessary in some instances, which I won't discuss here, but really what we're talking about is support and acceptance, because the high suicide rate, the high disconnect with society is when there's not family acceptance, when there's criticism and non-acceptance, and the kind of bullying and ostracization that can occur because a child may just be trying to discover who they are. And I think that's really what we want to support. And children have different interests all along their life, and we want parents to really focus on being there and being accepting and helping their children through whatever transition that they're going through, because it's not just in the family, it's in society as well. So in any case, I really appreciate what you're trying to do, and I want to encourage you to continue the discussion, and I reserve the right not to support it on the floor if it doesn't change, because I think that there's challenges with exactly what does it mean, and I don't think we want to send something to the court that causes confusion or wrong decisions. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Caballero. Senator Wilk, then Senator Ashby, then Senator Durazo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank everybody for coming out and testifying today. I'm now in year 11 in the state legislature, and all the time we're proposing policies to protect children. Well, after 11 years, I've come to a conclusion that we need to start protecting parents. That's just not happening. I've been here and witnessed a full frontal assault on charter schools, taking away parents' choice and how their children are going to be educated, to the detriment particularly of children of color. In recent years, we have put government bureaucrats between parents, children, and doctors when it comes to medical care. And now we have this, where if a parent does not support the ideology of the government, they're going to be taken away from the home. Now, I agree with both Senator Wiener and Senator Laird that today it only involves divorce proceedings. And frankly, a judge can already factor this in. But I can assure you it's not going to end with divorce proceedings. In the past, when we've had these discussions and I've seen parental rights atrophied, I've encouraged people to keep fighting. I've changed my mind on that. If you love your children, you need to flee California. You need to flee. We are moving towards the pathway of the Handmaid's Tale. California is becoming the new Gilead, and it just breaks my heart. I'm born and raised in this state. I love this state. I'm not going to stay in this state because it's just too oppressive, and I believe in freedom, and so I'm going to move to America when I leave the legislature.
All right. Senator Ashby.
Okay. On that note, I'm not 11 years into my term in the legislature. I'm about 5 months into my term in the legislature, and I'm going to do the best I can here on this bill. I want to start by saying that, Assemblymember Wilson, I'm happy to see you standing vertically in front of us, brave with your bald head and all, and presenting your bills, not just this one, but all of your bills. That's really honorable, and I know you're fighting your own battles, and I'm just happy to see you standing in Sacramento today. I called her yesterday because I had a lot of concerns about the bills. I didn't want to bother her because she is dealing with a lot of personal health issues, and but I felt like I was hearing from so many people. And if you were keeping track today, it was like a parade of my constituents on both sides. These are the tough ones, when people you care about are on both sides of an issue. And my office has been inundated with thousands of calls. I am a lifelong Democrat. I am a Christian. I am a mom. I consider myself to be a strong ally of the LGBTQ community. I do have situations similar to this in my own family. And yesterday, my very good friend Doug Pfeiffer took his own life, and he is a member of the TGI community. He's not a child, but he is a young man. And I'm trying to take all of that in. I want to take nothing away from anyone's experiences here. I watched carefully as people spoke, and folks spoke passionately on both sides, and you all have deep personal experiences. What I want to say to you on both sides is any parent who stepped to the mic today and said, I love my child more than the government ever will, I believe you. I know you do. This really wouldn't change your outcome, because what this bill actually does is already in the bill if a good judge is sitting in front of you, because the bill calls for the judge to weigh all the circumstances affecting the child's health and well-being. If it were to come to the attention of a judge, and I too have a law degree and have sat with many families, if it were to come to the attention of a judge that the child was somewhere in a fluid discussion around gender, the judge would ask, they would already do this, they would already ask, does this child have, as Senator Caballero said, family support? That is going to be a reasonable question. What I shared with the author is that I'm having trouble, my law degree mind is forcing me, like Senator Allen very eloquently stated, to have trouble accepting a bill with terms that are not codified in law, because of exactly what Senator Nilo said. People are conflating child abuse. This isn't even the penal code. This is only in a divorce proceeding. This doesn't have anything to do with that. By the way, in this particular code, even if you were an alcoholic or you had a substance abuse, it wouldn't be a penal code violation under this section of the law, because this is only about custody. It is just something that the judge is taking into consideration when they're trying to make the best decision on behalf of a child. So when Senator Nilo said that things are being conflated, like actual health care with affirmation, and Assemblywoman Wilson says she means affirmation to be the plain language definition of family acceptance and support, that I understand. And I think there would be broader support for that language. So I would like to echo Senator Allen and Senator Caballero, and I believe Senator Nilo's comments, that I'm hoping for some clarification when this comes to the Senate floor and then, goes back to the Assembly and on to the governor. It needs clarification, because there are so many people out here who spoke to language that isn't actually in this bill. But I understand why they did. And I've seen, the Twitter warriors who are particularly venomous towards Senator Wiener. And I read this bill so many times, called some colleagues more senior to me and asked them what they thought of the language, sat down with them, called people I know in the community, tried my very best to do outreach, to read messages, to become as informed as I possibly could, and even called you. I know that the process in the legislature is a little foreign to the audience. It was to me too. I'm still getting used to it. Like my colleagues, I want to give you the time to make that clarification. The only way to do that is to support you today. I also think what you are seeking to achieve as the mother of a trans child is noble and righteous. But I also want to hear the voices of all the people in the room that are saying, what exactly does this mean? Or they've already decided what they believe that it means, but the law does not bear that out. At the heart of this bill, it is about judicial discretion. That is really what this is about. And for me, both in my professional career and here as a legislator, I have been a supporter of judicial discretion, because judicial discretion means we give the judge as much information as we can, and we ask them to make the best choice and decision that they can based on their experiences. Our system is really set up that way. As Senator Laird said, this question does not become the paramount question. It does not become a question that leads to some penal code or some action taken by CPS. CPS is not involved in these proceedings, nor would they have time for this. This is just about making sure that a child is in a loving, supportive home. And when I think about the number of kids who have taken their own lives because they didn't feel they were in a loving, supporting home, I feel like it is a relevant and righteous question for judges to ask when they're going through this proceeding. So I'm going to support you today, Assemblywoman Wilson, but I'm going to join my colleagues in asking you to work with Senator Umberg as Judiciary Chair on adding some clarifying language that makes it clear that you are really seeking family support and acceptance for children who are working on their self-identification, their gender identity. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Ashby. Senator Rosso.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the author. It takes a lot of courage when you know that there's something like this that could trigger a lot of criticism, and I want to thank you for your enormous courage. And my way of thanking you is to support you. It seems to me a very simple and fundamental issue that's taken up in family court. How are you treating the child? That seems to me like a very direct and simple way of looking at it. Are you treating the child with the love and the support that they deserve, or are you treating the child with animosity, with even hate, with even emotional trauma, or even physical abuse? Those are all things that a judge should be allowed to consider when they look at the whole family situation. To me, it should be clear for a judge that if the parent is treating them with love, unconditional love and support and care that everyone deserves, then that's where the judge will go, and that's how the judge will make a decision. I have in my family 2 trans members. I love both of them equally, before, during, and after. And that's how I would decide whether or not that child should stay in the family. I am so proud of them for having the courage to do what they're doing. And that's how I'm looking at this bill, through the eyes of unconditional love. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Rosso. Senator Wiener.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to note, since a reference was made before to Handmaid's Tale and Gilead, if you look at that story, what happened there is women were forced to give birth and LGBTQ people were executed by hanging. I just want to say that because I just strongly disagree with that remark.
All right. Thank you, Senator Wiener. All right. Thank you, Assemblymember Wilson. It's a credit to your leadership and your fortitude that a platoon of Assembly members are here, which is unusual. They're not just here because they've got a bill coming up. I think that they're here to support your leadership and your fortitude. Point number 1. Point number 2 is that we are charged, at least my view is, we are charged to affect public policy here in this committee and in the legislature. And this committee is unique in the sense that I believe it is our responsibility to craft laws that can be implemented by a court so that the court receives the kind of direction and guidance that we believe is good public policy, and when that law should apply. I've heard my colleagues, and you and I have had a discussion about, more than one discussion about this, and I believe that you are of honor, and that we will continue to work to make sure that the bill, as interpreted by the court, will be done in a way that is consistent with your view and our view of public policy. But let me just ask when this applies. So, my understanding is that in terms of any custody dispute, that an agreement between the two parents basically doesn't require a judge to intervene. If parents can agree as to whatever form of custody, so long as it doesn't endanger the child, is appropriate, that will be left alone. The court is not going to intervene when two parents make an agreement as to the appropriate custodial relationships. Is that your understanding?
That's absolutely my understanding. It's only in the case of where any of the laws related to Family Code Section 3011 come into play is when parents do not agree.
Right. So if parents agree, the court need not intervene, number one. Number two is that when two parents don't agree and it requires court intervention, that if the child in question is cisgender, the child in question has no interest in transitioning, has no indication that they wish to transition to another gender, that the court need not engage in that conversation, that issue analysis at all. Is that your understanding?
Absolutely.
All right. So it's only when parents can't agree, only when there's a family dispute between two parents and one child is either wishing to, interested in, or in the process of transitioning, that this would even come into play. Is that your understanding?
Would even potentially be considered just because a child is what we call TGI, trans, gender diverse or intersex. It would only come into play if there was a parent that was antagonistic or anti or non-affirming, and there was one that was. So just being TGI wouldn't even make this into play either. There'd have to be a distinction between the two parents, and that's what the bill does. Makes a distinction.
Right. But in the overwhelming number of cases where parents can't agree, the court needs to intervene, right, and the children have no interest in or not in transition, this would not come into play. All right. So we're talking about a very small number of cases, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So then, is it your understanding, actually it's not just your understanding, it's the law that says that the interests of the child are preeminent. When the court makes a decision, it's the health, I believe it's actually in law, it's the health, welfare, and safety of the child that is the preeminent concern of the judge.
Yes, absolutely. First and paramount is health, safety, and wellness, or welfare. Mm-hmm.
And the court is in a difficult position to be able to evaluate that based on whatever information the judge has at the time.
Absolutely, yes.
And so in terms of the health, welfare, and safety, as I understand it, that if you have a child, a TGI child, and you have a parent who is not just intolerant, but is antagonistic to that child, that can create an issue as to the child's health, welfare, and safety. Is that right?
It absolutely can. It absolutely can. And we've seen study after study showing that when there is an antagonistic or non-affirming parent, that can create an issue for a child.
All right. I think we've heard some studies. And then secondarily, when there's a family that is supportive, that actually does benefit the child's health, welfare, and safety. Is that your understanding also?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And so in terms of this law that we're considering today, and it's the sense of the committee this bill is going to pass on, that we will continue to work to make sure that, to Senator Allen's point, that if you have a parent who perhaps has a religious belief that is not consistent with someone wishing to transition, but is unconditionally loving and tolerant, that doesn't preclude that parent from having custodial rights. Is that your understanding also?
Absolutely. And I think with the language that we have, it would say that, but I get that there might be some lack of clarity that some of our senators, who I adore, have concern with. And I think there is opportunity for us to continue that discussion as a part of the legislative process with both you and, of course, Assembly Chair of Judiciary, because it would have to come back to that House as well.
And in the case where parents can't agree, number one. Number two is that there's a child who wishes transition or is in transition, then in that rare case, then the court would take into consideration the parents' attitudes towards the transition.
Absolutely. And as it was noted from some of the testimony and even from some of the discussion amongst the senators here, is that there is an allowance right now for that judicial discretion under the umbrella of health, safety, and welfare of the child. But as we know, judicial discretion, they're human beings as well. And all human beings, I love to say it, are beautifully complex and beautifully imperfect. And so this makes it so that there's consistency and judicial discretion, recognizing that parents' affirmation, which is the exact language, parent affirmation of child's gender identity is in their best interest, versus going to a judge who might determine that that's not in their best interest, and then in the case of a TGI child, rule against the other parent.
And as I understand from our conversation, this is but one of many, many factors that the court is in the rare case where there is a child who would be within the category as defined by this bill. In that instance, the court can take into account this as well as all the other factors that have been both listed and other factors that, for example, finances that the court may think are important. Is that right?
Yes, because looking at the totality of the situation, we expect that a child that is in the family court system is coming for a judge, and a judge has all the information at their disposal brought to them by not only the parents, but other outside agencies that may be involved in the care of that child. And so looking at the totality of information, they are weighing a decision. And so what this bill does is say, as a part of that totality, we want you to add in one more factor. We want to add to, not take away all these other things or abuse or that, but just add to that discussion and make sure it's on the radar of a judge that in a child who is TGI, they need to be seen and their voices are heard, and ensure that they're in an affirming, safe, and a supportive environment.
All right. Thank you. I have no further questions. Would you care to close?
Thank you so much. I will add to just one follow-up that I forgot to mention, is there's been a lot of conversation about taking children away from parents. That happens in a dependence proceeding. It doesn't happen in family court. Family court deals with just disagreements between two parents, and no state removal is involved in that in any way. All parents have a right to see if they're not abusive or anything of that nature, have a right to spend time with their children. But I would like to thank all the senators for the robust discussion. It was great to hear from everyone present talking about this. I would definitely like to thank my witnesses, Jonathan and Melissa, for coming and providing their testimony. I'd also like to thank, of course, my assembly members for coming and showing support. That's how we roll in the assembly, and that's a good thing. And also, every single person that spoke on this bill, whether in support or against, and all those that have submitted testimony in support or against, and every single person that has emailed a senator or assembly member on this bill in support or against, thank you. I appreciate you. I am glad that you are a part of the voices that are speaking to your representatives about what you care about and what concerns you. I appreciate you taking the time not only to communicate, but also to be physically, for those who are physically present, to be here to speak in support or opposition. It is appreciated. That is a part of our democratic process. I would encourage everyone, as always, we can disagree, but as has been said, we don't have to be disagreeable. I am proud to author this legislation. I am proud as a mother, no qualifier, as a mother of a trans child, as a Christian woman, as a leader in my community, as a representative of the 11th District, as a Black woman. I am proud to author this legislation because it is absolutely important that TGI kids are seen in the family court system and seen in a way that affirms them, which at the end of the day is affirmation, is about emotional, community, social support. We affirm our children continually. And yes, they're children. they're changing, they're growing, but giving them a safe place to be children and to grow in who they are, recognizing that they are completely separate from you. But at the end of the day, for every single parent, it should be about raising our children to be whole and healthy adults. I was a young mom. I got pregnant very young, and I didn't know what it meant to be a parent. But I remember as I was carrying my child, as I was graduating high school, I knew one thing. That was going to be a whole and healthy child, because I didn't have that. That was going to be a whole and healthy adult, and that was intent. And so with every decision my child came to me with the issues of the world, the cares of the world, that was the focus. That was the focus, that they would be whole and healthy adults. And how could I generate a community, an atmosphere that would allow them to be that? When a child is in a divorced proceeding, it is such an anxious time, not only for the children, but for the parents as well. It is the craziest time ever. And having been a child in that, I know what that feels like from a child point of view. I don't know what it feels like from a parent point of view, and I'm glad about that. But there are so many parents who I've heard from who are just, it's such a crazy time. And I want to say to them that this allows their children to be seen. That's it. It's not saying you're bad or you're good. It just allows, if you have a TGI child, to be seen in a judicial system that says it is a state policy based on scientific research, not just something anecdotal, that affirmation of a child's gender identity is a good thing. To create a safe place for them is a good thing. And it doesn't leave for judicial discretion to say otherwise, because that's what's happening. That is what is currently allowed by law. And having been a Black woman who raised Black sons in California, I love judicial discretionary, but there is some issues, because guess what? They are human beings. And so we want to make sure that they understand that every judge in the state of California recognizes that for a TGI child, affirmation is in their absolute best interest, period. And I will work with Senator Umberg. I will work with Assemblymember Mainsheim, both heads of our judiciary system within our legislative bodies, to make sure that by the time this passes in the Senate and the Assembly and gets to the governor's desk, that it provides the most clarity possible, allowable, without creating a checklist, because nobody wants a checklist. Without being so nuanced, we make it irrelevant and we make it hard for judges to be able to determine. We allow our judges to have judicial discretion. There's a lot of things that we don't define in this language, but I am definitely open, as I always am on every single one of my bills, that until it gets to the governor's desk, it is open for discussion and amendments. With that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, if you could call the roll. I'm sorry, Madam Chief Counsel.
This is AB 957 by Assemblymember Wilson with a motion by Senator Weiner. The motion is to pass. Umberg?
Aye.
Umberg, aye.
Wilk?
No. Wilk, no. Allen? Allen, aye. Ashby? Aye. Ashby, aye. Caballero? Aye. Caballero, aye. Durazo? Aye. Durazo, aye. Laird? Laird, aye. Min? Min, aye. Nilo? Stern? Weiner? Weiner, aye. You have 8-1 so far with members missing.
All right, we'll put that on call.